Okay, so the next policy we're going to create is block login access from certain countries. And this one is extremely important. I like to inform my clients, hey, put this policy on. If you're not doing business in that country, then why allow access from it? And if you're wondering, well, when if somebody goes on vacation and they go to that country, what you can do with this policy is that you can add some type of exception. So you can add different users in saying, hey, I'm going to be on vacation next week. They should inform you before they go on vacation, because it does take time for that whitelist to be allowed within your Office 365/Azure environment. So what you want to do is make sure that there's a process in place, so that this way, when they do go on vacation and they may go to a country that is on the block list, you can now whitelist their account, so that this way that they can sign in. So let me show you exactly how you go about doing with that exception, and most of all, let me show you how to set up this conditional access policy, so that this way no one can log in from certain countries. All right, Cloud Scholars. So the next one we're going to create is we're going to have a conditional access policy where we are going to block access from countries we do not do business with. So what we're going to do is I'm going to come over here and I'm going to go to named location. And I'm going to do countries locations. And over here, I'm going to say allowed countries. And you have determine IP address, determine location by GPS. You can leave that there. You can click on include unknown countries and regions. If you want to, we can leave it the way it is. And what we're going to do is we're going to say, okay, so we want, I need to put United States, United Kingdom, United Arab Emirates, if I'm saying that correctly, which is fine. So let me take that off and I'll say create. So that should only be 3 countries in that list. If I click on it, let's see what populates. Should be just be the last 3. Yep. Okay, so we only have 3 that's populated. Everywhere else is not allowed. So we'll close that out, and then what we'll do is we're going to go to policies. In policies, we're up to number 8. So I'm going to click create new policy. And what I'll do is I can call this policy. So basically something similar as allowed countries. And I said 8. And then here I'll say all users. And in target, I'll say all cloud apps. And then under conditions, what I need to do is click on locations. And then within here, I'll say yes, configure, and I'll say any location. And what you can do is control user at base access on their physical location. So I can say include any location, all trusted locations, or select location. So there's different ways that you can do this, right? But you can get to the same goal. And you could say select the locations, and you could go here and you can make the change. So I'll say any location, and what I'll do is I'm going to add my select location that I feel is safe. So multi-factor authenticate trusted IPs, and then I can do allow countries. But I already did the allow countries earlier in this video, so we're going to do allow countries. So we're including any location, but we're excluding those allowed countries. So exactly what are we going to do next after we go about and take care of that? So we're going to come over here to grant, and we're going to say block access. So if you're not in the allowed countries list, then you're not going to get access to our environment. And then next, we're going to put this in session control. We're getting this message because it says don't lock yourself out. We recommend applying a policy. So don't worry about that. I have in report only mode, so I don't have to worry about any of these doing anything because they're on report only mode. And then we'll click on create. And then that's pretty much how you go about setting up the blocked countries list, or as I put it, allowed countries conditional access policy. So as I mentioned to you before, when we were talking about the conditional access policies, if you needed to say someone was going to a country and you're like, hey, we need to give them access, one thing that you can do is when I put all users, what you'll do is you can just easily say exclude user, and then you can put the user's information, and you would say, okay, this user I'm going to choose, and I'll exclude them from the conditional access policy because of wherever they're going, and then that'll be that. And that's how you would go about doing that. But your users should let you know
before they go on vacation. So they should put a ticket in or whatever mechanism you all have within your environment, and they should let you know at least a day before, because it does take some time. I've run into cases where people have informed me, let's just say they went on vacation on Monday and they informed us on Monday. So they had to wait a couple of hours for the system to replicate the changes. So it takes a little bit of time depending on the size of your organization. But I would always say before the vacation, definitely put in to that exclusion, and then set a reminder to take that person out once their vacation is over.
Okay, so I know some of you are probably thinking to yourself, MFA for all users, that is exactly what we're going to include in this list as well. You definitely require multi-factor authentication for all users within your environment. I wouldn't go without it, and you shouldn't either. So let me show you exactly how you go about setting that up.
Okay, so we're back over the Entra portal, and what we're going to do is we're going to do a new policy, and we're going to close number 9, MFA all users. And over here at users, we're going to say all users. Target resources, we're going to say all cloud apps. We don't really have to do anything here with conditions, platform, or other stuff. You can add that as, hey, configure any device if you wanted to. Well, probably a good idea. You could throw that in there as well. Locations, we don't really need to do anything there because we'd have a locations thing already set up. But grant access control, we're going to say require MFA. And then once we're done doing that, it says it's giving us the message again. I understand, and I'm going to put that on a report only mode, and then there we have it. We have MFA for all users set up in Microsoft Entra.
All right, so I want to thank you. We are at the last conditional access policy. If you have stayed with me throughout this video, I appreciate it. This one is a must-have. This is blocking legacy authentication. So if you notice, all of our conditional access policy that we implemented in some way, shape, or form, we've done some type of require MFA, require password change, etc., etc. With legacy authentication, it's single-factor authentication. You can't do multi-factors. There's no text message. There's no authentication app. There's no FIDO key. There's none of that stuff right there. So you really don't want to do that in this day and age, the modern day and age. We really can't have people logging into our environment and not doing some type of dual-factor authentication. So let me show you how to set up legacy authentication.
Okay, we're back over to the Microsoft Entra portal, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click New Policy, and 10, block legacy authentication, and users, I'm going to say all users. Target resources, I'm going to say all cloud apps. Conditions, we don't really have to worry about conditions right now. Actually, I do, excuse me. Device platforms, nope, not this. Client apps, there we go. Over here at client apps, sorry about that. Client apps, you click configure, and we're going to make sure that these two are checked off. This is legacy authentication clients, and we're going to click done. And then over here where it says grant, this is where I'm going to say block access, and it's going to give me this nasty error message. Don't worry about that. And I'm just going to leave it on report only mode, and that is going to block any legacy authentication in your environment. Remember, legacy authentication cannot be MFA'd. It's a single factor authentication, and we don't want that.
All right, Cloud Scholars, it is a wrap for the video. That is all the conditional access policies that I think that every Azure administrator should be using within their environment. I want to thank you all for watching this video. If you have any questions or any comments, please leave it in the comments section below. I'm more than happy to hear from the audience and to tell me what you think. Even if you're saying, hey, Kieran, I think there was some more conditional access policy you should have put in there, of course, but we only have so much time. So these are the ones I feel like are just, baseline configurations that you should have within your environment. So once again, thank you for watching this video. If you haven't done so already, please smash that like and subscribe button. I really appreciate it. Here at Cloud Scholars, my goal is to get you from scholar to consultant, and of course, consultant to expert. Thank you. See you next time.